Hello, Internet. My name is Christopher, and I'd like to welcome anybody who might ever come upon this video. Um, so I've tried this a couple times, and I really want to do it. Good night, everybody? No. Anyway, I want to do a Let's Play video of a game I very much enjoy playing. As you can see on your screen, it is Sid Meier's Civilization 6, Rise and Fall, which is the new expansion. Well, not super new, but I think it's been out for maybe 6, 8, 10 months, whatever. It's been out for a little bit, but and there's probably a whole bunch of other Let's Plays out there by different people. Quill, Hadrian, a couple other people I don't watch. But I still wanted to do it because there's a difference between how those individuals play and how I play the game. The first major difference is that they actually are good at the game. I'm not. I will say that right up front. I am not very good at the game. I do things very differently. I do things that a person who is really good at the game probably wouldn't do. Sorry about that. Was trying to remove potentially a background noise that you might have been hearing. Anyway, so basically you'll see me doing things very differently than what somebody who is actually very good at the game would be doing. So we're going to start off with a couple things first before I actually get into how the game functions. So you'll notice that I've got just a few mods, all leaders. This basically allows for every leader to appear in a game of Rise and Fall, and that'll become important kind of later as we go on with certain things. Housing Double Plus is a very tiny mod that allows for things that usually gave half a house to give a full house. Mary-Kate and Ashley? No. Anyway. Wow, I just dated myself with that joke. Anyway. So, basically, nobody wants to live in a half a house. So this allows for, like, farms and different builder improvements to give full housing. No Barbarian XP cap. Pretty self-explanatory. Basically, as you beat on Barbarians more, the amount of XP that you get from them decreases down to 1. This does not cap out that experience as the unit levels up, so a little bit of cheat, not really. Unfortunately, this mod doesn't work. As you can see, it's disabled. Flirtation and Curmudgeon were agendas for some of the new Rise and Fall rulers that I don't think people really liked, so they removed them. And unfortunately, the mod doesn't do very well in actually putting them back. Hopefully, they'll fix that eventually. Starting Free Cities. So Free Cities, to go a little bit into what Rise and Fall does. Rise and Fall adds a whole bunch of new stuff to the base game. One of the major things is loyalty. So in the previous game, you had the statement that if your cities were ever having amenities issues, that they could rebel. There was no system in the base game for a city to rebel. You could basically ignore amenities and nothing would matter, other than the production penalties and things of that nature, which were kind of tiny anyway. In this game, or in the expansion, they added the loyalty system. Loyalty is a 100-point scale that basically says, okay, your city likes you. Your city doesn't like you. Your city hates you and is leaving your empire if you hit a 0 loyalty. they can eventually rebel and actually become a free city. Now, a free city functions very much like take a barbarian, put them in a city state, and now you have a free city. If you come anywhere close to them, they will attack you. They function very much like a barbarian mindset. What this mod does is it just puts random cities in the game. Why not? I thought it was kind of fun. I don't do a lot of them, as you'll see, but, you know, it's there. And finally is the most important mod, which gives us the Yet Not Another map pack. And this will give us the map that we'll be playing on. This will give us basically the map that we need to... I kind of like playing a giant world. And... yeah. So this gives us that kind of map to play on. So we are going to get into the game here. Advanced setup. So you see a couple different options here. The first thing that you'll notice that I'm going to do is I'm going to play on marathon speed. Now, most people go, well, that's really slow. Yeah, it is really slow. I like having time to think. I like having time to kind of strategize and build towards certain directions and certain things that, you know, people... I appreciate having that capacity and the ability to think. Unlike a real-time strategy game where it's like, okay, I need to know everything before I actually build it. No, this actually gives me time to go, okay, what can I do here? I like... It's one of the things I like about this game is the fact that it allows you that kind of flexibility to think and that flexibility to go, okay, what am I looking at? How am I looking at? Who am I looking at? Why am I looking at it? Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, just... I like this game, and it gives me the capacity to kind of play in my way, and I wanted to show, you know, people how I play the game. Because I'm sure that there are other people out there who are not experts at the game, like the Hadrians or the Quills of the world, who just kind of sit down and play the game their way. We'll also be keeping it at Prince difficulty, because, well, I've never actually beaten a game of Prince difficulty. Told ya! I'm not very good at the game. It happens. So we're going to be doing that. We're going to be starting from the very beginning, 4000 BC, because I want to take a game that takes forever. Leave me alone. No, don't leave me alone. Please, you know, feel free to comment or whatever. So as I said, we're going to set to 12 free cities, and I hate sliders. I hate sliders with a passion. There we go. We're also going to set to 48 city-states. Oh, holy stars. People are looking at me like, wait, what? Why 48? You only have 6 rulers. Well, we're not going to play with 6 rulers, because we're actually going to change the map to this map. And you can see there that the map dimensions are 180 by 94. This is going to be ginormous. I forget what the actual map setting, the size setting is. I think it's not huge. What is the map setting? Well, it's not going to show you the map setting because it's pre-built. But so this is from that Yet Not Another map pack, and it gives us a map of the world. Now, they recently added these 4 border options. Obviously, south and north makes sense. North Pole, South Pole. I don't really know how to get the entire world, so I'm just going to leave west border as West Europe and east border as East America. My problem with that is it seems to me that's sort of... that kind of erases the Atlantic Ocean. And I'll admit there's not much in the Atlantic Ocean, but it's just, I don't know. The only thing I can look at maybe here is... not East Europe and Africa. East Mediterranean, Central Asia, because that's all going further and further east. The only thing is Bering Strait, because it doesn't have something... like, I could set it to East America. Have the east border be East America and the west border be East America. and see if maybe that'll give us the Atlantic Ocean. I've tried to find different guides on how this is set, and there's nothing out there. I'd like to have an Atlantic Ocean. That's kind of the thing I'm looking at when I look at this border setting. And West Europe seems to me to stop at Portugal. And that kind of western border of Europe, and then obviously East America stops at the eastern coast of America. I want an Atlantic Ocean, so what we're going to do here is we're going to set this to East America. We're going to set the east border to East America and hope that that doesn't cause anything to explode. We're going to turn on place all luxuries because there's 2 new luxuries with Rise and Fall. Amber, which is a luxury that gives culture and can either be on land or in the ocean. And olives, which I've rarely seen, so I'm not entirely certain what they give. But they're both luxuries, so that's kind of neat. You'll see a whole bunch of options here for, and I click most of them. I don't like replacing floodplains with desert hills, because don't change the actual blasted map. But this just adds extra resources. This changes the map as well. The Bosphorus Strait is the strait that is basically between Turkey and the Black Sea. Again, I don't like changing the map, so we're not going to do that. And game speed, we turn off turn limit because I want the game to take forever. Yes, the game will take forever. Deal with it. So that is our basic game settings. Yay, basic game settings. So let's go to our rulers. Now, you can see here that it's going to give us the 6 default small map rulers. Woo. We're not going to play with 6. We're going to play with 24. Why? Because 36, there's 36 rulers in the game. I think 36 would make the map too busy. So we're going to play with 24, because I think 24 is a good number. Alright, so we've got 24 rulers here. Yay, 24 rulers. Now, who shall we play? Well, first off, we're going to set the 9 Rise and Fall rulers, and we're going to discuss the 9 Rise and Fall rulers. So our first Rise and Fall ruler is Chandragupta. We're not going to play him. He's religious and military. He basically can declare war of territorial expansion after getting the military training civic. He gets some combat bonuses when he declares his special territorial expansion. Basically, if you're anywhere near him, he hates you. And if you're not anywhere near him, he loves you. They get war elephants. Yes, they get elephants, which is kind of neat. Not very powerful units, but they're kind of neat. Adjacent enemy units receive -5 No wonder I couldn't beat those things. Anyway, moving on. And then their builders build Stepwell, which is housing, food, and faith. It's basically a farm with faith on it. Meh. We're not going to play him. So our second Rise and Fall ruler is Mr. Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan is interesting. He is a cavalry ruler. He builds a lot. You really kind of rush down cavalry, but he doesn't start in the best location, which is part of the problem. Starting cities starting a trade route receives a trading post, and if it's started in a foreign land, you gain diplomatic visibility, and they gain combat bonuses higher. Words are hard. They basically gain additional combat bonuses for having that diplomatic vision, which is kind of neat. They replace the stable with the Urdu, and you'll notice that I will mispronounce names and words, so just deal with it. which gives their units movement, strength, and combat experience. And then they get a military unit. You'll see that I won't usually care about military units because you'll eventually replace them anyway. There's only one military unit that actually is important, and it could be important to this game depending on who I decide to play. We'll go over that eventually. Let's see. Our next ruler we won't be playing today is this guy, Mapuche. No. Mapuche is the unit name. Or, yeah. That's all, folks? No. Lataro. Lataro? I want to say Lataro, but that doesn't sound right. Anyway. So this guy. He was one of the people with the romantic mod, the romantic agendas. He basically hit on rulers, which I think people thought was sexist. I thought just kind of the idea was funny. But anyway, so if a Mapuche unit defeats an enemy unit within the borders of the enemy city, that city loses 20 loyalty. As I said, that loyalty system I was telling you about earlier. If they destroy an enemy plot, they gain 5 loyalty. Woo. So all units trained in the city with an established governor gain 25% experience into combat plus 10 combat strength for civilizations that are in a golden age. Okay! So here's 2 new features. Governor will go over a little bit in detail later when it actually becomes important to the game, but it's basically an NPC. NBC? Peacocks? No. Anyway. NPC that you put in your cities that grant that city bonuses, and at least 5 of them are good. There are 7 total, 5 of them are good, and again, we'll go over that once we hit that point in the game. The other thing here is a golden age. So in the previous game, in the base game, eras were civilization related. Basically, when you reach certain civics and certain technologies, you advanced into whatever era. And that still happens. However, in Rise and Fall, they add the era system, which is basically the entire world shifts eras. And when you shift an era, when enough civilizations reach a certain technology level, the entire world shifts into that next era. And you can gain a number of different things. There are 4 different states that you can be in. When you start the game, you're in normal. And normal, nothing. Nothing happens. Nothing special. You gain normal loyalty. You gain normal everything. It's normal. You can, if you gain enough era score, and era score is gained by doing stuff. Discovering things, building things, hitting certain population levels, doing certain activities in the game gets you era score. Depending on the era score you have, you end up in one of 4 things. You either end up in another normal era, which is not horrible. You end up in a golden age, which is what this is talking about specifically, and golden age allows you to make a more powerful dedication. Dedications are one of 4 things that you choose at the beginning of an era that grant you certain bonuses. A lot of them are fairly powerful, some of them are useless. And you'll see when we get to those certain choice options. Golden age is you score really, really, really well. The opposite end of the spectrum is a dark age. Now, a dark age sounds horrible. It's not. Dark age is not a horrible thing. And can actually be a very good thing, because it gives you certain... It basically means, yes, you didn't achieve enough era score, but that doesn't mean, like, you suck or something. It just means that you didn't do enough specific things to accomplish things. Now, unless there's specific dedication, simply building districts and what you would normally do to play a game isn't going to get you a lot of era score. So, getting a Dark Age is not horrible. Getting continued Dark Ages, that can be bad. However, you still get a dedication with a Dark Age, which I wasn't aware of until I played another game before, so it's not horrible. You also get fairly decent Dark Age policies. I say fairly decent. The one I really liked was you gain +2 production, +2 food, but you can't build settlers. And unless you're constantly expanding your empire, that's actually a pretty powerful. That's actually a pretty powerful bonus. One of them's there's 4 total, and 2 of them are really neat. One of them's kind of meh. One of them was 75% science, but a penalty to culture, which that one I had to think about. One of them was a religious one, which is meh. And then I forget what the other one was. I think it was military. So basically, you get a Dark Age policy based on the 4 victory conditions. So it can be useful. What actually is really useful from it is that the 4th thing you can be is called a heroic age. And a heroic age is, so you're in a dark age, and you earn enough points to get out of a dark age in the next era. You're in a normal age, nothing happens. You're in a dark age, and you earn enough points to get into a golden age in the next era. You enter instead of a golden age, a heroic age, and a heroic age allows you to make 3 dedications, which is super ultra mega powerful. I cannot stress enough how awesome that is. So don't worry too much if you end up in a dark age. Yeah, I mean, you still get a dedication, which I was worried about that you didn't. As long as you got a dedication, it's not very powerful, but it's still pretty decent, and we'll show you that eventually. Yes, the mouse in my pants. No. Anyway, this is a family show. Moving on. So yeah. So we'll talk about those when we get to that point. Again, I said we. When I get to that point. So he gets combat bonuses against people in a golden age. He also unlocks a builder production, which gives culture and tourism for breathtaking plots, which is good, and then he also gets another military unit. Let's see. I'm going to come back to Poundmaker. Robert the Bruce can declare a war of liberation after gaining the defensive tactics civic, plus 100% words, plus 100% production and plus 2 movement for the first 10 turns after declaring a war of liberation. Me. That's my opinion of that. Happy cities receive an additional plus 5% science and plus 5 production. Happy cities generate plus 1 great scientist per campus and plus 1 great engineer. That can be powerful as long as you're keeping your cities epic static. Doubles all of these amounts. I don't think I've ever seen an ecstatic city. I don't know. They produce golf courses because they're Scottish and this game likes telling a joke, I guess. Which is amenities, gold, and culture. Culture if adjacent to entertainment complex, additional tourism and housing as you advance through technology tree. Cannot be built on desert or desert hills. So apparently the city of Phoenix cannot exist. Or at least it can't be Scottish. Moving on! Only 1 per city. So you're only building 1 golf course. St. Louis has like 15 golf courses. Anyway, moving on. He also gets a Highlander. Well, actually, this one's not too bad, now that I read it, because it replaces the Ranger, which is the last unit in that tree. So it makes it a bit stronger. Combat strength bonus when fighting in hills and forest terrain. So, not as bad as some others, but not horrible. Our next ruler is Seun. Seun is everything good in life. And I mean that. Governors established in a city provide plus 3 culture plus and science for each promotion they've earned, including their first, which makes one of the specific governors really stupid broken. But mines also grant science and food if adjacent to a Seun, which is their campus district. Seuns automatically give a +4 science bonus, and the Hwacha is actually one of the more powerful units. Yes, you eventually do get rid of it, but it's still actually fairly powerful. The reason why I say she's everything good in life is because I do like Science Victory. And she is Rise and Fall's Saladin. If you remember, if you've played the game before, Saladin, which is the previous ruler here, he was basically easy mode for somebody who likes playing science. He grants a lot of religious bonuses. His ruler bonus is kind of meh. Getting the last prophet, it just means you're definitely going to get a religion, but we'll talk about religion eventually. I don't play religious games, but I do want to get the second or third religion simply because of one of the bonuses it gives. And you have to get either the second or third religion, second usually, third if you're lucky, to get some of the bonuses. So we do kind of rush down astrology, and we'll go over that eventually. But he basically gains the ability to put buildings in other people's cities, and he gains science because of it. He also gains science for each city following Arabia's religion. He just builds science left, right, and center. So yeah, he's like awesome, like super, super, super awesome. Seun does, well, she doesn't look at the religious aspect of it. She gains so much science, it's stupid. The Rise and Fall game I finished was with Seun, and yeah, she's just everything good in life. We're not playing her because she's too easy. I want to kind of play slightly challenging. Alright, so Shaka. Shaka is Shaka. He's a military leader. He gets a special district that replaces the encampment district. He gets a special unit, which increases, has lower cost, increases experience, increases bonuses. He gains bonuses to corps and armies. He's your basic, I'm going to kill everybody ruler. I don't really like that. I'm going to kill everybody ruler. Plus, I'm putting 24 rulers in the game, so that's kind of hard. It's also one of the reasons why I don't play Religious Victory, because that's really difficult as well. Tamar. Tamar, I don't know. I'm still not sold on Tamar. Plus 100% faith for 10 turns after declaring a protectorate war. Each envoy you send to a city-state your majority religion counts as 2. She does a lot with city-states. And she does the strength and unity is what makes kind of makes things interesting. When making dedication, I don't know why I paused there. Leave me alone. When making dedications at the beginning of a golden age or heroic age, receive the normal age bonus towards improving era score in addition to the other bonuses. So basically, you get a dedication for each level, regardless of what it is, and some of them grant the ability to improve era score. Like with Dark Age, you don't get the ability to improve your era score, but you do get some of the additional abilities, which is kind of really powerful. With Normal Age, you get some minor bonuses plus the ability to improve era score. With Golden Age, you get a major bonus to era score, and then a couple other options. And then Heroic Age is just everything. So I think she gains some additional bonuses when making those dedications. So she's not... So that's actually fairly powerful. The rest of her stuff is meh. A building unique to Georgia, lower production costs than the Renaissance walls. So basically she raises walls faster and gains faith from them. Whoa, whatever. She is definitely a faith-based civ, so maybe that's why I'm just kind of meh about her. So, here's where I need to decide. So we've got 2 civs that are left for the new expansion. Words. So we have Wilhelmina, who is of the Netherlands. There's nothing super powerful about her. She gains some loyalty bonuses and some culture bonuses when you have trading. Which is kind of neat. But polders are kind of neat too. And where she starts in the map, she can get really quick if the map works very well in her favor. So it kind of really depends on where the map, on what the RNG gods want to give you when you start her. At least on this map. I mean, obviously, if you're playing just a random continents map, who knows? But in the actual real world, she can be really, really powerful if the map gods are nice to you. So yeah, there's that kind of thought process, and I've the last couple of tries at making this video for all of you. I've played her, and I've done pretty well. In fact, the last game I was doing pretty well. There's been 2 games I've done really well that the video sound has gone out. I don't know why. I'm not entirely certain why. I'm not even sure. In fact, pardon the stuff showing up here in the video. I just want to make sure that you guys can actually hear me. We're going to move that off of the recording. Just so that you guys, yeah, okay, so it can still hear me. So I'm going to keep that up now. I think that's going to be a good idea as I go through this, just to make sure that you guys can hear me on the recording. In fact, for all I know, you guys didn't actually see that. Maybe I'll get lucky. We'll see. Who knows? But yes. So I'm kind of torn between her and then the other guy. The other guy is Poundmaker. Now, Poundmaker actually has some really powerful bonuses. He starts with basically trade routes. If your trade routes have a camp where they're going or where they're going, receiving city, yeah. So where they're going, they get +1 gold, +1 food. That's awesome. He also gets a free trading route just from getting pottery. I mean, he gets a huge amount of bonuses. When I first saw this civ released, I was kind of like, eh? How is this powerful? But yeah, I played a Krieg game and it was awesome. And as you build trade routes, so he's definitely an economic civ, and I know economic is not a victory type in the game. But when you have like Cleo and now you have Wilhelmina and him, it's almost like they're trying to add that economic victory. I don't know what it would look like, but who cares? I'm not the designer. But the other things he gets are the Mecha Wop, which is actually fairly powerful. It's a farm on steroids. Don't do drugs, kids. Anyway, it provides production, housing, and gold when adjacent to luxuries, and you can put it on hills, you can put it on pretty much everything. I had to decide a lot between whether I wanted a mine or a Mecha Wop. In some situations, a lot of times I went with the Mecha Wop. Yes, it's 1 less production, because you do gain stuff as you go through the eras, but eventually it becomes more powerful than even the mine is. So it's a decision point that you have to kind of consider when you're doing, as you're playing the game. The final thing he gets is, I'm not even going to pronounce it. Oh, okay, yes I am. Okihetsita. Whatever, that. He gets the thing at the bottom there, which is a super, 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 super powerful unit. And the reason why it's a super, super powerful unit, one, you get one for free right at the beginning of the game. Two, it's as strong as your warrior. It's as fast as a scout, it's as strong as your warrior. So while it eventually does not get, it doesn't have the same bonuses that the warrior builds up to when you get it promoted. You start with a promotion. It's not really hugely useful, except for him it kind of is. And it's based upon where he starts in this particular map. When you get that kind of forced movement, if I played him, you would see he starts in the middle of a giant forest because he starts in the Pacific Northwest. But the thing about it is that with this actually kind of becomes your primary unit, even over warriors, because while warriors eventually become far more powerful, this guy you eventually get to ranger. Now, rangers have a base attack of 60. Recon units have a promotion that gives them plus 20. So, this guy, when he becomes a ranger, has attacks of 80-70. Most of your information age units don't have an attack of 80-70. This becomes one of the most powerful units in the game because of how quickly it's promoted. And because it can actually fight, you get this thing promoted. So yeah, it's actually a very powerful unit. The thing I don't like, the primary reason why I don't really think about him that much to play is because he starts in the middle of nowhere. Like, I'm worried that it would be a very boring game to you guys. He literally starts in the middle of nowhere. So that's kind of the thing that I need to consider, whether or not I want to play Wilhelmina, which is potentially a challenge, and I've had a couple issues, and hope the map gods. You know what? Because I've tried it so many times, I'm insane. We are going to set him as the non-ruler, as the non-playable ruler, and we are going to play Wilhelmina. I'm insane. I do the same thing over and over and over again, expect a different result. You will find that I do that. So we're not going to leave... That's 9. We're not going to leave 13 other random rulers. We're going to make Africa happen first. Africa! Throw down every African ruler. You'll look at me like, why? Because why not? He's not African, but, you know, why not? We'll throw him in there. And we're Saladin. I noticed that the AI doesn't play Saladin or Sayun correctly. Like, they should be kicking tail for science victory all the time, and they don't. And I'm not entirely certain as to why. We're going to put John Curtin in there because John Curtin is nice and he leaves everybody alone. We're going to put Teddy in the game because I play every single game ever with Teddy. And if Teddy's not in a game... Whoa, I skipped a space. And if Teddy's not in a game, then I just lose my mind. I don't know why. Let's make South America hoppin' too. Montezuma. From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of... Okay, I'm going to stop insulting Marines because Marines can hurt me. Let's make Asia hoppin' too. Let's bring out all the Asians. I'm just going to stop talking now. Which would make for a very, very boring Let's Play. So we're not going to do that. Keen. Actually, I've seen a couple people who just, like, I'm going to take a video of me playing the game. Why? Why? I have no idea. Uh, Now here's the thing. We're not going to throw Gandhi in the game because we already have Chandragupta. The problem is, and we're not going to put Katarja and Jayavaram because they gain religion too fast. Especially Katarja. Like, Katarja is awesome, except she starts in the middle of an island, which is meh. So we're running out of rulers to play. I usually play a Yadviga, but Yadviga always causes problems for me. I could play Gorgo. Yeah. Well, let's throw Gilgamesh in. Because he usually... I don't feel like putting Alexander in. Alexander annoys me. I hate Alexander. I don't put him in because he finds a city that I need very quickly. We could put Peter in. Could put Vicky in. You know what? I'm going to put Vicky in. Have Robert the Bruce and Vicky have some issues. Vicky doesn't usually cause me issues. I don't know. We're not going to put Trajan in. Trajan becomes too complicated. I still want to put Yadviga in, but I did put Vicky in instead, so we don't need to do that. And Gorgo just gets annoyed at me. Pericles gets annoyed at me too. You know what? We'll put Peter in. Why not? He may find Stockholm before we do, but meh, who cares? So, here is your game set up. We'll be playing Wilhelmina on the Giant Earth map in Marathon Speed, Prince Difficulty, Ancient Era Start, and I'm not sure what victory we're playing for. Probably Science, because it's what I do. Maybe Culture. I don't know. We'll figure that out. But yeah. So that is my game setup, as well as a general explanation of how I play the game. So I am going to let Lord Bean explain who Wilhelmina is. And then we're going to see... I'm probably going to put a cut in the video at that point. Maybe we'll go over the start a little bit in this video. I'm not sure. But for the moment, that is your game setup. And let's let Lord Bean take the introduction of Miss Wilhelmina away. Oh, one of the things that you'll notice is the game does load a little slowly because of just everything I have on the map. So you won't see that loading on any future videos. I'll have it already loaded and actually in the game before I start the video. But I did want to show you guys the setup and how I was kind of working with the game. But, here we go.
From the first stirrings of life beneath water, to the great beasts of the Stone Age, to man taking his first upright steps, you have come far. Now begins your greatest quest, from this early cradle of civilization on towards the stars.
Queen Wilhelmina, you will defend the Netherlands to the last. Turn coastland to farmland with Dutch ingenuity. Your citizens will farm with great efficiency, knowing that they are under the protection of your mighty warships. Above all, trade with everyone you meet. A good deal can turn a foe into a friend, and if not, the money will fund your opposition.
The money will fund your opposition. Alright, so we're going to wait for the map to load, and you may see a different map when I actually restart the video. I'm not sure. Because I may just... I want to get the best possible start for this. How about I actually just put a cut in the video here, because I do have to eventually hit the load button. So I'll put a cut in the video here. And I'll make sure to title this video as just game setup. I hope not. I hope people actually want to see how things go. And maybe people will eventually come back to this video. I don't know. Who knows? But if you have watched this video, or if you do ever watch this video, I do thank you very much for just sort of putting up with me. I know I'm very weird and kind of do things strangely, but it is what it is. I certainly hope that I can be entertaining to you, and that you eventually want to watch more of what I do. If you do eventually want to watch more of what I do, feel free to like and subscribe this video, and leave a comment. Why not? Just don't flame me, I don't feel like it. I've already warned you I'm not very good at the game, so just, yeah. Let's all be nice. I want people to have fun, and I want to have fun doing this, so no reason to do anything like that. Unless I've really screwed up something, then please, be constructive. Don't say, "You're an idiot! You suck!" That sort of thing. Don't do that. But anyway, I thank you very much for watching the video, and I will see you next time.